organic brain damage. And my neighbor across the street, Gracie Younger, she was president of the Chicago Epilepsy Association. And the National Epilepsy Program was having their national meeting in Chicago in the Stockyards. And so to kick this off, she decided that there should be a photo op with Mayor Daley. And so because I had seizures, not technically epilepsy, but I had seizures, I was dressed up in a cowboy outfit, went to City Hall, and had a photo with Mayor Daley and Dorothy Collins. And for those of you young people who don't know who Dorothy Collins is, she was a not so famous singer in the 50s. And of course, I was 7 years old. I didn't know who the heck she was. But anyway, Mayor Daley and Dorothy Collins are my famous people. And we'll start with Commissioner Frost.
Okay. Gosh, I've met a lot of famous people, I think. And I'm trying to think of one who will work in the room because I'm 100 years old. So I'll go with this one because of the times. I'm from an activist family, and so my mother would often did a lot of activist community work. And one weekend she was tasked with driving Gloria Steinem. But we had a family wedding the night of, and we were making flowers for the wedding. So we were riding around all day in a car with Gloria Steinem, who was helping us make flowers for this wedding, but she was also going to speaking engagements and all that kind of stuff. So I didn't understand necessarily how famous she was because I was a little girl. But over the course of the day, the way people reacted to her, she's really somebody beyond a great flower maker. She really is somebody. So Gloria Steinem is mine for today.
And I'm supposed to go after Gloria.
Yes, and for those of you, and those of you who have not met Julie Hewin, she is a new community member from District 1 on the Planning Committee, and I welcome you to the committee.
So yes, I'm Julie from New Haven. I've lived in this area for decades now. We moved here from Worthington, and we love this community. And I guess I don't really know any famous people, so I'm gonna go with Gordon B. Because he might not be like world famous, but y'all know who he is.
My name is Lauren Davis, and I'm a community member for District 3. And yes, the only famous person I have met is the architect Raphael Bagnoli. We were doing a photo shoot for one of the principals of his firm. It was his weekend house in upstate New York, and he brought us down to Bagnoli's office, and we got to meet him, and that's about it. He was a very intimidating individual. So,
Thank you.
I'm Steve Wilburn, I'm the District 3 Commissioner, and probably the most famous person I met Justin Timberlake. I was in Siena, Italy, and I walking down the street, and he was there with his wife, and it's a really interesting experience.
Cool. Commissioner Benson. You're next.
Oh, it is my turn. Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Sharif Benson. The most famous person, I guess, that I've ever met that I think ranks at the top of my list is Jane Elliott. She was the progenitor of the blue-eyed brown eye experiment, excuse me. And just speaking to the lady and just really digging into her insights was absolutely lovely. And seeing her do what she does live was amazing.
Commissioner.
This is the most famous person you met?
Or the most interesting, if there's another.
Okay.
Gregor, you don't have to say me. It's fine.
No. I was gonna tell a story that was kind of fun, but instead of that one, this point, the most famous person I actually ever had a real conversation with was, I'm in the affordable housing business, and we had our statewide conference, and this is around 2017 or 18. And the luncheon speaker was this guy who had just written this pretty well-known book his name is J.D. Vance. You may have heard of him. And he was the speaker, and after his speech, which made in some ways no sense to me, I just walked up to the front and I just started talking to him about it. And he kind of acknowledged that, yes, he'd gotten a lot of help from the federal government. And it is sort of, he has to reconcile that to the position he's now sort of taking about everyone kind of standing on their own 2 feet. And yeah, he kind of agreed with my point on that. And like, I kind of just shook my head.
Was it before the elegies?
No, he had come out with the book. I had read the book, and I was so struck reading the book by, look how much help you got from the government, you and your grandma and everyone in your family. It's the only way you made it. And then did you not get any help to go to, what was it, Yale? Mm-hmm. And now you're saying that, the government should not help people's money. It's just a little conversation. He wasn't really much of anybody at that point, except he had written this book, He had plans, though.
Okay, Candace Clepez, Commissioner for District 3 and Zoning Vice Chair. And there's this guy named Roy Lowenstein who's really, no. So my famous person story is also actually the story of the thing that if I could go back and do differently, I would do differently. So I was with a bunch of coworkers at a conference in Las Vegas, and while at the Pink Taco and Hard Rock Cafe, Casino, whatever, Brett Michaels came up to our group and asked us if we wanted to party and hang out. I said no. And I really wish I would have said yes, because it would have been a better story.
Life may look very different now, but
And you might not be here today.
Yeah.
I don't know. But if anyone knows Pedro Pascal, I think we could be besties. So introduce me.
Tony Lococo, zoning committee, District 4, at large. I met Archie, only two-time Heisman Trophy winner, at the Seattle, Washington game in Seattle last time we played, probably 90s. So,
And then we have one more entrant.
Commissioner Shields, you're up.
Oh,
Famous person.
famous person.
Or most interesting.
I know you told me that Commissioner on the phone when I called you. A minute ago. I can't think of it, I'm sorry.
Okay, all right. Thank you. All right, so
I know you, you're famous.
yes. There's no old business, so new business. The first property on the agenda is 1287 South Fenton. Miss Reedy.
How you guys doing?
Very good. Have these changed from your submission?
No.
Okay, so we have these ready to project. So
Yes, let me pull it up.
would you please start out with a 3-minute description of your project and the variances you're asking for?
Yes, so the project is proposed to be a quadplex 4-unit. Our goal for the project is to make them a little large, make them a very comfortable, I'd say mostly affordable 2-bedroom, 1.5 bath. I always try to be careful in calling things affordable because everyone's definition of affordable kind of varies. So I usually don't like to play on that word too much. Our general goal for the project was to make the space very comfortable. for all the residents in the building. About 4 or 5 years ago, we came and proposed and ended up building a 4-unit on the corner of 18th and Franklin. It has a similar size, but they're single bedroom units. And the number one complaint we had from them was just they didn't like hearing the people above them. And the other request we always had was to make them 2 bedrooms instead of 1. And the only way to do that was to make that building bigger, but I think this design accomplishes that. In terms of the variances we're requesting, the first one is to put a 4-unit on a property that's zoned as a single family. The lot width is very common here in the area, because most lots are not 50 feet wide, as well as the landscaping buffer in between our property and the neighbors. There's an existing fence between the two already, and we've spoken with them. They're supportive of the project. They're a fan of it, both the residents and the landlord over there. And then the final one is just the maneuverability for the alley, turning into the parking spaces. Our original proposal when we reached out to the city was to kind of come in. They wanted us to come in from the undeveloped alley behind it, but it's an undeveloped alley with trees growing, bushes growing there, and the city has no plans of developing it. And so we kind of shifted of where they're coming in from. Instead of coming from the undeveloped alley to the developed alley, and it turns in the same direction as all the other all of the cars on the street. And so it's pretty conforming with what's already there. And then for stacked parking, because we have the space for stacked parking, and so each tenant can stack up on top of themselves.
Right, and you're also asking for the variance to eliminate landscaping and rely on the fence.
Yes, for the buffer between us and the neighbor.
Thank you. Would you just go through the site plan and all the documentation you provided?
Yeah. So another kind of goal we were trying to accomplish while designing the space was to make it fit into the neighborhood as much as possible. And so we have 2 doors kind of facing the street, and then 2 doors facing the rear parking. So as somebody drives by, it will look like a duplex, at least from appearance, but it will be a quadplex. And then in the front porch, we had some people request we maybe make the front porch a little bigger, maybe a little smaller. Kind of thought it fits in fairly nicely. And this specific design will hopefully be resubmitted on some other lots. And there's window wells kind of by the front porch there. Sometimes we will put in a basement and a window well there to make it a 3-bedroom. But on this one, it's going to remain a 2-bedroom, and those are going to be planters. So each one has a small little landscaping by their front door. Yeah.
Do you have anything about materials?
The siding, our siding materials, we're shooting for either hardy or LP siding. I think it looks great. I think it really adds the value of the space. Roofing are just going to be traditional dimensional shingles. Windows will probably be a white vinyl.
Okay. Any questions from the planning committee? Go ahead.
Yes. I have a few. The first one, this is just general question, because I saw on the plan that there's a power line that goes.
It's on a power line. It's an internet cable, and they no longer use that internet cable anymore. That was just from the survey. The surveyor sees a wire. It's a wire. For him, any wire is a wire. So
Gotcha.
we spoke with the neighbor already. They use a different internet provider, and that one hasn't been used in years.
Because my question was really like who handles
Yeah.
that if
It's a good
it
question.
is an AEP wire, but.
When I saw it, that was my first question too.
Okay, and then also I saw, well, I see on the Google Maps version, I'm not really sure. How many trees are on this plot of land?
So
now?
there's a bundle of like weed bushes, kind of right where that power line actually runs through. There's a bunch of like weed trees, and our plan is to kind of remove those. There is a tree right now that's right on the border between our property and the neighbor's property.
Mm.
Our plan is to keep it in place.
Okay.
But at the same time, we're also aware that during construction, if sometimes the roots get damaged, the tree gets damaged, that's not, sometimes they don't always make it even if you want to. So we're planning on planting trees throughout the property to make the landscape nice, but besides that, there's no large trees or any other fixtures besides that one invasive species on the property.
Gotcha. And then my final question is, for the people who live in the front unit, is there going to be a walkway or anything for them to walk from
Yeah.
their car
So
to?
it's hard to tell just from the different lines that are on there,
Yeah.
but there is a sidewalk and that's kind of like next to the alley there. So it's on the side of the building. There'll be one.
All right, is there going to be lighting?
Yes, on the side of the building going down. Make sure people are getting home safe.
Okay.
I have a question regarding the green space for the 4 units. So I'm assuming the green space between the parking lot and the back door is for the tenants who live on that side of the building.
It won't be exclusive to them. It'll be a backyard space. In the past, on similar projects, I fenced it off by the request of the tenants because they have pets, and they asked if they can let their dogs out in the yard. And I've been able to happily put up a fence there, like a 3-foot fence, so their dogs can run out freely. But it's not exclusive to the back tenants. The front tenants and the back tenants have access.
So how much green space will be on the front of the building? Face.
I don't want to tell you specific square footage. The number's there. So the lot is like 37.5 feet wide,
Right.
and that distance is 16 feet, so I can tell you the square footage of that.
Well, I really need how much space from the sidewalk to the front door.
16 foot 2 inches. Yeah.
So is it
And it lines up with the I think, with the neighbor's house.
Any other questions from planning? Commissioner Lowenstein, I pass the baton.
I don't have any self-briefer. Yeah, I'm a bit confused. Is this upside down, or does the parking against Fulton? Does the
Parking is
house-
not against Fulton.
The house faces Fulton?
The front of the building is facing Fulton, yes.
It's upside down.
So that shows the back as an undeveloped alley. So it shows the front being Fulton Street.
This is your lot, right? And this is Fulton up here?
Can I approach just to show you on the paper?
Yeah,
All right.
yeah.
They also have a
I mean,
full map,
I'm
like,
assuming I'm wrong, but where's Fulton?
Fulton is here.
Oh, this is Fulton, I'm
This is
sorry, I
Fulton.
apologize.
That's that undeveloped alley, and this is the alley they would be turning onto.
Okay, I'm sorry, so this is your lot right here?
Yes.
I'm,
No, yeah, I can see how that.
so are these cars stacked then?
Yep.
Okay.
And that's on the zipper there.
So are they assigned to each unit?
They would be assigned to each unit, so that way they can stack themselves if they like to.
What percentage of lot coverage do you have for this project?
It's up there, I can tell you. Proposed lot coverage is gonna be 48.7%. 2,037 square feet.
Yeah, sorry, so.
Yep, no worries.
How big are the front porches? I can't believe it's.
No, you're
My eyes are shut.
I apologize.
So it's really just a.
It's about
covering-
6-7 feet deep, yeah.
Okay. So really, most of it doesn't appear that there's like room to put chairs or anything out there, more just coverage. in front.
Correct. Like the only potential we could do is, like I said, we can cover up those little wells there that we're planning on putting plants there, kind of extend the porch out. We're not opposed to that. We just stuck with this design.
Does the sidewalk on what would be the west side of the house along the alley, is that butt right up against that alley?
It won't be. There'll most likely be probably about a foot or two between the space. The sidewalk's going to butt up against the building, and then there'll be a small amount of space in between.
So I'm sorry, you said the sidewalk
We'll go against the building.
goes right up against the
Like-
building?
It's,
Okay,
it's,
so
it's never going to be like 100% against it. It'll
Yeah.
probably be maybe a 6-inch gap, so that way water doesn't run against the building.
Okay.
But pretty close, it's pretty
Yeah,
adjacent to it.
I'm looking at the wrong line then, so the space right next to the building is the sidewalk, and then the other lot is your.
Yeah, the property line's
How wide is the sidewalk?
3 foot.
3 feet? Okay, and then how far from the house is the fence on the other side?
The distance is 5 feet
5 feet to the
to
fence?
to the property line of the fence, yeah.
Okay, and is that grass along the side of the house?
In that space between the 5 feet, yeah, there'll be grass there.
Anything else?
Any community comments about this project?
Yeah, Kathleen Bailey, South of Maine. First of all, I'm familiar with their work, they do quality work, I can say that. And what I like about this project is that part of Fulton has seen some concentrated development. There are 3 or 4 houses, I think 2 houses have been redeveloped, there's a couple of new ones, but it's a concentrated new, so they're fitting right in with the rest of the development. So we don't have to worry about them putting a nice project in and there's stuff there. And we have seen, on the side streets like Fulton and Mound, more development, South Main, which is a good side, and we also had quality development. So this is this continuation of, used to have it kind of be nightmarish with some people self-proclaimed developers, but we've seen more and more of quality development, and this gentleman, that's not familiar with things like that. So I'm very not unconcerned or anything about that, about what he will put on the street. So, and he knows he can talk to me if I have a question.
Always.
All right, thank you.
Well, it's nice to get a vote of confidence.
Yeah.
A community
I'm also,
member.
I'm also a member of the community. I've lived here for about 10 years. Actually, about 2 years ago, came to you guys for a carriage house in the back of my house.
Any other community comments? Go ahead.
Chair, thank you for recognizing me. And I do want to comment that this print is extremely small and quite difficult for me to see. So I did refer to Chair Frost. My concern or question addressing is for trash pickup. You said, where would that be here?
So if you look at the drawings on the back, on the right by where the last car is parked, there's 4 rectangles there. It says trash. So there'll be 4 receptacles there for trash pickup.
4 receptacles.
Like each unit will have their own trash pickup.
Okay. Yeah, I couldn't see it.
I apologize for the size. Next time, I think I'm gonna
See, and
cut it up into pieces and zoom it in.
Is
said
that,
she didn't realize it was a car. I'm
is that
sorry.
no, I'm so sorry. Is that the alley that they pick up the trash in? It was,
Yeah, that's what they drive down the alley over there. And so on top of that, we contacted the city about the trash.
Yes.
And I actually drove by there and waited for the trash guys because they told me what time they normally come, and asked them, hey, if you guys are taking the trash here, realistically, where are you taking the trash from? And they said it wouldn't be a problem to stack them over there. And if we needed to, I can put them in between like the parking in the house, but I prefer not to because usually when that gets knocked over, then they lose grass and stuff like that. If we can keep it in that back corner, it makes everybody happy.
I was gonna say, the trash pickup is pretty standardized.
Yeah.
It's standardized.
Any other comments before we move on?
Can I have one?
Yeah, go.
You mentioned earlier that you wouldn't be opposed to expanding the porch. That's something on the planning committee that we often ask folks that are building in the neighborhood because it does increase connectivity. When the porch is just a little bit wider, then folks can't put chairs out. They tend to do that or are more likely to do that. And, they'll look at their neighbors, have conversations, more likely to form connection. So while you're, doing the project, we would, I think the folks,
Yes.
maybe I don't want to speak for everyone, okay,
Sure.
but we are in agreement, it's something we've discussed often.
Something that we're
We would
more
love
than
see
happy
that
to,
if
and it really
possible.
won't change our costs, won't change too much of it. Not a problem on this.
Absolutely love to see
And
that.
then just like a final note, this is the first time we're going to be submitting this, but our goal is in the September meeting to kind of come up with 2 more. They're the same design, same general layout. My thought was to come here first with 1 instead of coming here with 3 or 4 of them. Get notes, see how we can change things, and make it fit into the neighborhood. Really, be a part of it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And I think the committee has agreed that the wider porch, letting people sit on the porch. And I mean, I sit on my porch, it's not stinking hot every morning. It's because I get to see what my neighbors are doing. So, yes. Any more comments? All right, hearing no further comments, I'd like a motion to approve the project.
Want to approve, Laura?
Second, Benson.
It's moved and seconded to approve the project. All those in favor, raise your hand. 7-0. Any abstentions? Okay, 7-0, it's been approved.
Thank you, guys.
Commissioner Lowenstein will tell you what's next.
So, next up would be the site visit meeting. Huh?
August 2nd.
We don't meet in August, so, as you know,
Yeah.
so it'll be September the 6th. And so you'll be the first case up at 9 o'clock. So we have cards for you.
Excellent.
You can fill them out. You've done this before, I think.
This is a new one for me.
Is, all right, so the location of the meeting is, of course, the address.
Okay,
And so you can either fill them out now while you're here
okay,
and leave them with Mr. Ovalle back there, or you can take them with you. And of course, it's not a rush to do this since the meeting
September.
won't be till September, but it would be great to, at least within the next week.
you just need me to put the stickers on the envelopes and hand it
Yeah,
down?
you put the stickers on the front and you fill out the back with the date and time and
Oh, okay.
location of the meeting,
Sounds good.
okay?
Knock it out.
And when you come to the site visit meeting, please bring a larger site plan.
What I'm gonna do
I
is
don't
I'm gonna
care.
cut it up into pieces and zoom into, so you
do
can see
that.
all the dimensions.
I don't care about floor plans necessarily being bigger, but at least
We
the
would
site
see
plan
the
itself
dimensions.
should be at least twice its size, so we can,
No
with
problem at all.
dimensions, so that we can see things.
No mistake.
Thank
You guys.
Yep. You want these back, you can have them.
No, I'm good. If you like, I can take it back, but,
And then just bring them back to the general.
yeah, I'm gonna print out bigger ones, so,
Okay.
we'll do that.
Okay.
And then,
Thank you.
I have the flash
Yes,
drive?
with your photos.
With
I'm
the
so
wedding
sorry.
photos,
Yeah, I
I-
don't want to keep your
My
wedding
wife will
photos.
shoot me if you steal the
Yeah,
wedding
let me
photos.
just safely eject
9
here.
o'clock on the 6th.
9 o'clock on the 6th, of course.
All right, while we're waiting for that, the next property is 1371 Brighton Road.
Safely.
Commissioner, would you, it seems like he was unfamiliar with the postcards. Would you mind describing what the postcards are for?
Nice to see you again.
You're right.
Thanks, man.
Do you understand what the postcards are for?
Yeah, to notify the neighbors
Yeah,
about the meeting.
okay.
Yeah,
We
yeah,
just
yeah.
want to make sure if you weren't familiar with it.
No,
that
no,
you
in the
understood
past,
the
this,
point.
like, it was a lot of during COVID and post-COVID, that they would just send, we just gave them the labels and then they sent them off, but.
All right, Mr. Perry is here representing the property. You know the fire drill, you have 3 minutes to describe your project or the variances you request.
Good. Start when the exhibits are.
I will momentarily. And I think you're good. Just let me know if you need any particular pages.
Well, go back to, the beginning slide, please.
Yep. I think I can open up the flash drive. That's what it is. Give me just a moment. I apologize. There we go. That's it.
Thank you. Okay, so we're, I'm Dave Perry, good to see you all again. And you also know Lonnie Freeman, Blue Chip Homes, you've seen Lonnie many times, he's built many two-family and single-family in the NEAC area. His current application is CV 25056, it's a vacant lot addressed as 1371 Brighton Road. And right in the middle of the screen, are you able to blow that up a bit?
Yes, I am.
There you go, right in the middle of the screen, there's that grass area, that is actually 2 lots, not 1 lot, and Lonnie owns the right lot, the lot to the east. So we have a platted lot, 37 feet, and vacant lot, zoning is R3, Lonnie proposes to build a 2-unit building, and this is a model of home that he's built quite a number of times, and the intention is to sell the units as condominiums. So let's roll on through. We keep going. There's some ground shots. There's I just want to make sure you all know this, that's two lots. We're talking about 37 feet on the right side of that existing house. And, yep, keep going. And then that's from the alley. And just showing you what's there. Keep going. And a little longer shot of the alley. So alley access, alley parking. Bryden Road is, this site is also in the Bryden Road Historic District. We will be meeting with the HRC as the application progresses. Yep, there you go. And here's our site plan.
I'll zoom out a bit.
Yeah. The building setback is deep because the homes on Bryden Road are deep. It's about 25, 26 foot setback. And you see that dash line through about the middle of the building, that's the dividing line between the A and B, what will be the A and B condominium units.
I'm here.
Front unit on facing Bryden Road has a very large porch that it jogs in and out with the angles of the house. And then the rear unit B has a porch, private porch also, and then keep rolling. And there's the alley. We have a two-car garage and a surface parking space. There we go. There's the architect's rendering of Brighton Road, and then elevations we proposed new unit building. Building materials are brick and hardy product, hardy plank and hardy board. Floor plans. Skip over unless somebody wants to talk about them. And then building materials, that's the palette that Ronnie and the architect are working with. Combination of brick and hardy, and then other details about gutters and doors and so on. And then zoning variances, we have a variance to the R3 district to permit a 2-unit building. We have a variance that we talk about on just about every application for the lot width to reduce from the current 50-foot requirement to 37.8. And then we have a small parking variance, it's 3 parking spaces rather than 4.
Thank you.
And the other, we don't need to go through the other slides unless you want to, that's a scan of the full application.
All right, any questions from the zoning committee? I'll start by saying that I do appreciate the architecture of the front of the building.
Yeah.
And the way it really fits in with the Brighton Road architecture. And I realize the historical district does require some stuff, but it doesn't matter. Yeah, I think you've done a nice job. And I do like the front porch on the front also.
Yeah, when I first saw this, I said, that's Brighton Road.
Yeah.
Steep roof bench, big porches.
So I will ask the question that I'm starting to ask everybody who comes. Have you thought about putting solar panels on these houses?
Something we've looked at in the past. It's twofold. There's not a lot of sun. We don't get as much sun when the buildings are so close to each other. So I've had someone that does roofing. I've asked them, hey, where do you do most of your solar panels? Is it a pro or a con for me? Like, how much energy would the new homeowner really get? And between the economic factor of the cost for me and the lower impact of the energy it creates,
Yeah.
If he sells roofs, he told me it probably wasn't worth my economic investment. And he said, look around, how many do you see in this area? You can drive around areas with more sun exposed to it. And I did that. It's actually the first time I kind of been asked that question to tell I'm yet to find, I've seen a couple garages in the Near East area that I drive around looking. Yet to see roofs, and I see it a lot in the others. So the answer is, I've thought about it economically, since I sell these. It's also, some buyers like them, some don't, and if the buyer doesn't want them, takes them off, it's kind of a choice. So I've chosen to not spend the money up front and eliminate some of the people who may not want to buy it and leave it up to them.
Well, I think it's hard on Brighton Road because your north and southern faces are the front and back of your house. So you don't have the roof space, or the roof to really put your solar panels on the southern exposure. And if these are not rentals, these are condos, then I can see the investment wouldn't make sense.
Yeah. Not for other projects that may apply, but I'm actually not sure how the HRC, it's a good question, how they view solar panels. I'll ask them just because I'm curious, but they have a strict roof shingle.
I think they do.
We have to use a 3-tab shingle, which we have spec'd, not an architectural shingle. It's gotta be gray, it can't be any other color. The ridges have to be metal and have to be either red or gray, so like, they're gonna dictate they're gonna drive a lot of the design decisions. But that's a great question.
I actually shop for solar panels and confirmed it takes 8 to 12 years before you start seeing.
Yeah, I know.
With a south facing. So it, yeah. Say that.
Any other planning questions, Lauren?
I do have just a few questions, just because I wasn't sure when we looked through real quick. Why the height increase?
It's a good question. Carrick, who's the architect, is not here, but, and I thought about that question all the years I was thinking about it. Unless you have a better answer, the answer he gave me was historic homes on Brighton Road, their foundations are higher out of the ground. So that, between that and also the first floor is 10 foot to be in line with the other houses next door. So to keep in the streetscape, that's how all the houses are in line at 40 foot.
Okay,
Well,
gosh, so it's not gonna be
I have an answer.
5 feet taller than
No.
that.
I have an answer. I don't know if it's a better one or not, but when the application was prepared, the architect wasn't sure where he was going to end up in height, and the ridge is now 35 feet, so it complies.
Oh,
There-
gosh.
There's no longer a height variance.
It's a better answer.
It's an answer.
But that was what I was thinking on the way here, was that we're building a little bit higher foundation out of the ground to match the properties next door, and the height will be the same as everybody else's.
Gotcha. And then,
Sorry for the confusion.
They are out of the grade more, and the roofs are steep, and Carrick just wasn't sure where he would end up exactly when I prepared the application.
fair enough. Makes sense. My other question is just because looking at the Google map, or the satellite view, how are you going to handle the parking situation in the back? Because that looks like it might be encroaching on your land. Is that
Yeah,
one that-
my partner and I who own this building, we also own the building next door. So we're gonna be cutting that parking off at the property line. We didn't know, we bought the 4 unit next door and the land together at the same time.
Gotcha.
After we got the surveys completed while going through this application, found out the parking is treating, so that will get moved over back to that parcel, and we'll have our car garage.
Gotcha. Okay, so I was gonna ask, like, are you guys gonna, like,
We're still,
how's that gonna be with having
Sure.
to take over that parking spot?
no, that's a great question, a good eye. But yeah,
Okay.
we own both properties, and we'll be able to scoot that over.
Cool. And yeah, so.
Commissioner Frost?
So mine were more comments than questions. I know it's not historical, but it is a point of interest, and Kathleen will know better than I. Isn't that Chief Jackson's old house?
Next to it, or
Next
close
to
to
the
it.
one next
Close to
door.
it, yes.
The blonde brick?
No, he had red brick and he had a
Okay.
funny kind of the door, the entryway was a little bit
Yes.
shaped different.
Okay, all right, I thought
That
it
is
was
close
that.
to his house.
It's closer, okay.
Yes.
And then the other comment is, for everybody, solar panels for residential, financial incentives are coming down. You already know this, but you already put it in. Okay.
So when I applied, taking in the 35% tax credit, it still was going to take 8 to 12 years for me to even recoup the investment, even with 35% tax credit.
Well, they're new
With the
incentives coming down the
self-facing.
line too.
Oh, there are new ones coming?
Yes, for a single family residence.
Really? Because I want them. But I was just like, it just doesn't make sense, maybe.
Yeah, it's coming online pretty soon, so.
Cool. Good to know. Thank you.
Commissioner Wilbur? Any other planning? Commissioner Weinstein, Mr.
Thank you. Just a comment, which is, if I don't know how to turn this into a question, see if it makes any sense. It's like, the architecture is very appealing, clear. But when we put that second unit on the back, we have very little open space left on the site, and I'm not happy about this. I don't know how to turn that into a question. I'm not gonna ask you why you're doing that, I know why you're doing it. But I would just say, despite how appealing the architecture is, that's, that's a pretty good sized negative for a 2-unit building to leave. How many feet are left between the back porch and the garage?
I'm not sure that.
I can try to zoom in for you here.
It's pretty small. I know it's not zero. We do run into ones that people reduce to almost zero, but there is an intervention.
And just going by the garage, it's
It looks like maybe
approximately
it is
equivalent to the
25
garage.
feet.
Yeah, yeah, it's equivalent to the
So
garage.
it's not nothing.
Right.
But I just like, given that we see you frequently, you know, keep that in mind that at some point, we're gonna not accept it. We won't. I'm not saying this is that case, but it would be, you know, we see, this is a trend. We're seeing people put 2 full houses on a lot. It's not like a house in an ADU, which is a different situation. This is like, a front and back, you know, it's not even like a double that's, you know, where the units are small. These are like good-sized houses. It's like, borderline, so I'm just making a comment. Does anybody else have a comment?
Yeah, can you go to the front porch?
On the, sorry, on the site plan.
What's the distance from the sidewalk to the front of the building? Yeah. Oh, you're
25 feet from the property line.
Scroll down a little bit. So, is this porch to that unit?
No, to the back unit. That's the back door to the back unit, and the front door to the back unit is actually up toward the front elevation.
Scroll down.
There's 2, yeah, right there, yep.
Yeah, this is the back unit's front
Yep.
door.
So that's a hallway. It's
So how does the front unit get from their garage to their unit, to their front door? Oh, I'm sorry, they can come in the back. This sidewalk, that goes in.
Oh, right, yep, correct, yep,
So this is their access.
yep,
From the
correct.
garage, and if you scroll down. a
Yep,
little
and
bit,
then the back porch, the back end's
their
right
access,
there.
It's here.
Yep.
Okay, can you go to the elevation of the house?
Absolutely.
Yeah, okay, so that's.
The back unit,
That's
front door.
the front door to the back unit, and this is the front door.
Yep.
How deep is this?
It's not on there, but it looks like 7 feet.
7 feet? Okay.
We've been,
Any idea how wide that is? Enough for like 2 chairs?
oh yeah, that's, that is roughly. I can get a number, but it's.
As long as
it's-
there's enough for some chairs though.
Yeah, yeah, that whole building front porch from just the front unit to the side is 22 feet, so
Okay.
that's gotta be, I'm guessing, 14, 13, over there. We got 3 windows slated there, so 2, 4, 6, plus the case on each side, so we're probably at 10 feet, 12 feet, somewhere there. To the left, just a
Your
left.
elevation shows the sidewalk coming over to that side of the porch. This here.
Yeah, it should look more like the elevation of the front there, where it goes straight into the
One side.
straight and one goes
down.
right, yeah, yeah. That's a note we can.
Yeah, it's the same as the second one.
Okay, I think it's a beautiful looking building.
I think,
Yeah.
Anything else? Go ahead.
So the first is, when you come back from HRC, they might have you change the pitch of the roof, and that might actually get you to the point where you have to ask for height thing. So just a heads up there. For the porch here, you have some sections on this, rendering that are open. Will you close off those sides?
it's a question I have.
From a safety perspective, I would recommend.
So this right-hand side right here, you see, I asked the architects, because I just got this updated drawing today. I said, hey, we're gonna plan on putting a rail there. His response is, per code, it's gonna be low enough, we don't need one, but we talked about putting something that fits in the neighborhood, like a steel round horizontally, instead of putting spindles, putting a round, well, not a bar, but this rail kind of thing, yes. Yes, that was my recommendation. He sent me a photo of that from another house on Brighton that he's done, and said something like this. There's a round thing went across about knee-high, waist-high. Right.
Yeah.
So that'll be added.
I think that makes sense, so thank you for that. And then, I'll echo Commissioner Lowenstein's concern about shoving so much onto such a small lot. And then I'm gonna, unrelated, take the time, since you shared that you own the property next door, let's make sure we're keeping up with the fence on that property.
Will do.
And then lastly, please make sure you visit, this is
Franklin
Franklin
Park.
Park Neighborhood Association.
It's, Tina.
What's in?
No.
This is part of the.
Oh, it might be the overlap.
Yeah,
It's on the
so-
other side of Wilson.
Yeah, it is on the other side of Wilson.
Or west, east.
So can I put in my email to you to go to Franklin Park? Not to Otina.
Well, for east of,
Well, I checked the map of Otina and confirmed with Otina
Well,
that it's.
so here's the thing.
Tina's map also on their website is not correct historically.
Right.
There is an overlap. Otina says that a larger area is within their jurisdiction than the way the commission, our commission sort of divvies it up. I know, it's a little confusing.
Well, in the way that Broad Street divvies it up, the way that it naturally flows, the neighborhood naturally flows. Broad Street is a giant thing. Otina claims that they have part of the piece of the product. Doesn't really make sense.
So for clarity, I think our ask would be that you attend Franklin Park Neighborhood Association. If you have the desire to go to Otina, that would be great, but our ask is Franklin Park. Is that, everybody agree with that?
Yes.
Thank you.
Any other questions from? Okay, any community comments?
I was one, I mean, I don't hear all the stuff about porches and people being able to talk to each other, but that area is extremely walkable. I mean, it's loaded with people walking their dogs, pushing baby carriages, taking the kids to the park, so I don't know if they're doing that because they don't think their porch is big enough, but I'm saying there's a lot of civic activity in it.
Yeah. Okay, I have one, this is more of an aesthetic comment. You could make it look more like a single-family dwelling if you had a single set of steps, wider going up to the front porch. And then you know, that way you just hide the fact that it's duplex. You know, if you look at the front doors, you're gonna see two. But in lots of homes in this area, there is a front door and a side door off the porch, so it would kind of mirror that. So I would suggest if you really want to make this fit more into the Brighton Road, which is single families, you just put in a single wider set of stairs and maybe with railings on either side.
That is a great.
Okay, I will accept a motion to approve the project.
I'll move to approve over.
Second, Benson.
It has been moved and seconded by Commissioners Wilbur and Benson to approve the project. All those in favor, raise your hand, please. Again, 7-0-0. It's been approved. Mr. Perry, C. Commissioner Lewis.
For Saturday, September 6th at
9:25. I think the other one could involve a little more. But, huh?
That's all.
Yeah.
Early.
This one about, yes.
9:25
Here,
on
USB.
September 6th.
Yes, sir.
9:25.
Thank you.
All right, the next property is same numbers, 51 Mount Vernon.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I have 4 folders. Who would like a copy?
Anybody on the committee or in the community would like a paper copy of this project?
Can I play one? It's fine.
You need to,
I was using it as a fan earlier.
Right.
Trying to you off. And you
yeah,
got
no,
yours on
what
it.
did I say?
No, I
Would you
just,
like
my ears weren't working, I'm not 100% today.
Sometimes that mouth doesn't. work.
Want one? Anybody else?
We'll take one for you, please.
Sure thing.
We'll have it. Yes.
All right.
All right.
You can introduce yourself to the commission and you have 3 minutes to describe your project and.
Is it okay if I stand? I've been sitting all day.
You can sit, stand.
So my name's John
Lay
Zimnox.
down.
Huh?
Free to lay down.
No, I won't lay down. So I have lived in King Lincoln since 2019,
And you
and
are?
I'm John Zimnox.
Thank you.
So moved in 2019, and then a property became available, a piece of land on Mount Vernon. So if you're familiar with Mount Vernon and driven down it, I built this beautiful custom home. I actually designed it myself. Then I hired an architect. I done probably 30% of the work also by myself. I'm kind of like jack of all trades. The reason that I'm here today is because I'm asking for variance for an ADU. It's a very personal reason as to why I'm asking for that variance. So in the back of the house, you'll see there is a 2-story garage. When we originally started this plan, we presented it to the city of Columbus and they actually approved the plan. But then they made an amendment to their approval and said, you have to separate your parcel, of which I disagreed. And said, I'm gonna turn it into storage and we will approach this later because Cincinnati was leading a program. Columbus was talking about the ACE pilot program. I said, you know what, we'll just revisit it in a couple of years when the house is done and we'll approach this situation then. The reason it's very personal for me is my husband has terminal cancer and his mother lives in Brazil. She's actually here visiting because he had a medical event last week. And so, although it is treatable, it's not curable. And so when the time comes, she will move to the United States and help spend the time she can spend with him. I also am the guardian and caregiver of my brother who is disabled with autism when my father died in 2016. He also requires care and my mother is currently the one doing that. So this is a multifamily scenario where, you know, I don't want to overcrowd the main house. There is a 1st floor bedroom with a walk-in shower, but I need to think about the fact that I'm dealing with 2 family scenarios and this ADU is going to help accommodate that. Now, in the situations where I'm not accommodating a family scenario, yes, I do have intentions of renting that out, if that ever happens. There is a parking spot that is beside the property, and I apologize, the full packet that's there does not include the right rendering. So if you get out of this attachment, there is a different PDF that has the accurate rendering of the build.
Garage render 2?
Or
it
phase
is 2, or photos.
not photo. It's not photos. It's the D&D, I think it says.
Got it.
Thank you. So this is the actual rendering of the house. Everything's existing. There's no external change whatsoever to the property. We're just talking about converting a 2nd floor that is already built. It's already got water. It already has a 200 amp panel dedicated to that garage. It's ready to go. It's got 2 very large south-facing windows, both of them rated for egress. And I did not build any windows that are east or west, mostly because I'm right there on the corner lot, and there's sometimes some noise coming from the Poindexter community, so I don't want to have a window which opens noise. I also don't want a window in the back of the unit because I want privacy when I'm in my backyard, and I'm sure they want privacy when they're in their unit. So for those reasons, there is not windows on other parts of the structure. I would be open to putting in glass block windows to help add some extra light or maybe some skylights, because you might see from the photos I have a sunroom attached to the house because I have a giant 50-year-old philodendron that I inherited from my father. But there are a bunch of variances I'm seeking. I used some AI to figure out what those variances are, but basically it boils down to parking and it boils down to having 2-unit dwelling on a 1 dwelling. So.
I don't see in the list that I have any parking variances. What I see is the height variance in the area width, which is kind of typical of this area. And then there's the unspecified lot area requirements, and I'm not sure what that refers to.
Yeah, there's a separate document that I created that it's actually part of the primary application that has a list of, I want to say 9 different variances I'm asking for. On the parking ones, it's setback and parking, so it's 3312.27, 3312.43.
I'm sorry, I was looking at the wrong set of variances.
Sure.
Yeah.
No worries. Yeah, I broke it into a couple different sections. So there's
Right.
building and spacing and then setback and parking. And, you know, I'm also probably going to have to pursue some utility variance acceptance, although I have 4 different sewer cleanouts for a 40-foot run. And there is already water running to the system, and I have a final occupancy permit, so I think it'll probably be fine. I do have 2 separate disconnects for the power, because I'm running a 400 amp power to the house, 200 for the garage, and 200 for the main home. Both with separate disconnects, so like literally everything's done, but finishing the inside.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Commissioner Benson, could you show us the street view of this property, please?
Yes.
We have it blared out just because of privacy reasons with my husband, but there's a lot of photos that I've included in the packet. If you'd like to open that, there's photos of front, back, and all sides of the home.
All right. Okay. All right, any planning questions, please?
I would just say that this good news for folks that I've taken to date, and my service on this commission, and I really appreciate the package that you submitted and, electronic materials. It's not a knock against other, 80 folks that are submitting, but this is quite sophisticated and you seem real prepared.
I'm an engineer.
Very much appreciated. This is, I'm very impressed, honestly, so.
I would definitely agree with all that you said. I think my only comment is, like you mentioned, maybe doing like skylights or something. That might be a good idea, just
I completely agree with you, Lauren. The sunroom, so can I talk a little more? Okay, so the sunroom that I built for my big giant plant that I inherited from my father, it's on a separate zone heating and cooling system for the house. It gets excruciatingly hot in that room, and that air conditioner is running all the time. So I was originally going to put skylights in the garage, and then I'm starting to kind of look into the sun tunnels just to help keep the R value high. But they're basically these like 12 to 18 inch diameter circular things with a dome, and so it helps keep your R value, but it's giving natural light reflected down into the unit. I'm like, oh, that might be like a good trade-off where there's light but not loss of energy, because I also have 2 electric collars, so our electric bill is sizable.
Oh no, but
Commissioner Frost?
I don't know if I've ever said this before, but I agree wholeheartedly with Commissioner Wilbur. Wholeheartedly. And then the other question that I have, is there any way that you could adopt a couple of my plants?
I do have some space. The foyer has a ledge. Right now it's got a couple peace lilies.
They don't have high standards.
I don't know if you saw my backyard. If you have any tropical plants.
I see your house all the time.
Yeah.
Oh yeah?
I drive by all the time.
So just last weekend, I finally installed the gas lamp, and Wayfair made a mistake. I ordered a 25-inch one and they gave me a 45-inch one, so it's giant. But I might be the only gas lamp in King Lake. I don't know.
I've never seen another.
But I love the area. Like, I want to say, I've lived here since 2019. I was over on Hamilton Avenue, and then it gave me the sense that I had when I grew up, and everybody's so neighborly, and I was like, I just want to live here.
One shameless plug, sorry. There's a social enterprise in Ohio. It's called the Appalachian Native Plant Nursery, and if you're really into that kind of thing, I would highly encourage you to plant some beautiful native plants that are native to Ohio.
I am trying. I'm trying to find.
So a lot.
Yeah. I have a lot of planning to do. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I didn't want to interrupt. Hearing a comment about neighborly, I think hearing the reasons for what you are building, why you're building is very helpful, and knowing that you already facing difficulties with the city. Is there a way that we can write our letter of approval or add comments in that may make it easier in case there were
really
hurdles
helpful.
up with having to divide the property? I'm not sure what their reasoning is for that. I guess we can't speak to that, but if there's a way that we could potentially amend what we put down to give it a little bit more weight to this.
They finally did say that I don't have to separate the parcel line because of the ADU pilot program. So yay, Ohio. Or Columbus, Cincinnati's ahead of us. But they are still putting me through the ringer. The reason it took me 2 years to build is because of the city. Building the same house in someplace like Delaware County would have taken me 9 months. Columbus has some opportunities in their building and zoning department.
Any other planning comments? Commissioner Lowenstein?
The only thing I'm concerned about here is the fact that this adjacent building has only those 2 windows. I mean, it made sense when it was a storage space, but it's like, aside from just, how limited the natural light would be coming in there, I just feel like it's just not residential feeling to have no windows on the house side of the unit. And I feel like I would really like to see a commitment, honestly, even if you put them on at the garage level, which is probably not what you want to do, but the roof on the side of the building where the garage doors are, you've got the
dormers?
The dormers there, and you don't have them on the other side, I don't think, right?
Correct.
Right, so.
And that was kind of we'll see.
I know, it's just, that's a very substantial blank wall for occupied space, I feel. So, if you would add double windows on the one side, that would have improved the amount of natural light coming in. So I would ask you to take another look at that. I know it's already built.
Yeah.
And it would be not only cost, but it'll be somewhat destructive to cut holes in the siding and all that, but I feel like that's a shortcoming of this. Otherwise, no other comments.
Understood.
You have anything? All right, we're done.
Any comments?
Anybody?
No, I missed the address.
1371 Mount Vernon. Mount Vernon.
It's gorgeous if you've ever driven by, or I have a friend
If
who
you've
lives there.
driven by it, you cannot.
You can't miss it.
You cannot miss
It's
it.
right there, yeah.
I missed it.
It's nice and blue, the color's
Once you
phenomenal.
see it, you can't.
My
Yeah.
husband picked out the color. It's,
Okay,
it's
the
similar
color's
to that
gorgeous.
iPad kind of.
Yeah,
but a
tell
little
him
darker.
it's gorgeous. It's a
Yeah,
good blue.
I was dubious. I had to test it on a wall, and I was like, all right, it looks good.
Hearing no other comments, I would like a motion to approve the project.
That's a second.
All those in favor, please raise your hand. 700. Good to see you, Commissioner Lowenstein.
So this is number 3. This one will be. You can have this back.
Oh, sure.
You have all this. It's kind of expensive stuff. This one will be at 9:45. So you understand how these cards work? And
This
what
is
we're
my
doing?
first
All right.
go.
So what we do is, this committee, you notice zoning didn't vote, planning voted. So zoning votes at a site visit meeting where adjacent neighbors are invited to come. And so we let them know when that meeting will be by sending these cards out. So the stickers go on, are the addresses that go on the front, the back. The date will be September 6th, location will be the property itself.
Okay.
And it will be 9:45.
Okay.
Time to this one. So
And
here you
then,
go. And you can either fill them out tonight and leave them with Mr. Ovia, who's out in the lobby, or you can get it done over the next week and bring it to his offices in this building.
But he'll do the mailing. He'll mail them.
He'll
so I don't
mail
need to do the
them.
mailing.
You don't
Okay.
mail them. You bring them back.
Sure.
Get them to him out there.
To Mr.
Mr. Ovia.
Ovia out there in the
Oh, that
lobby.
gentleman. Okay, great. And then I do have a question, because this is just what you're saying. Does that mean that until this meeting happens, I'm unable to proceed?
Yes,
Yeah.
because we're off in August. The whole commission, just like city council is off in August, so are the commissions.
You still have to go to the board of zoning
Hmm.
after this.
Okay,
So I can't do anything about your timing.
got it. Okay.
Board of Zoning Appeals is your official,
Yep, yep, and that'll be after this.
after our zoning site.
Okay.
Then we make a recommendation.
Understood. Okay.
Oh, wait a minute, so it comes back to general
No,
body.
no, yeah, I was
Sorry,
gonna,
I'm sorry,
so
I'm
the site
not-
visit meeting is on the 6th. The following Thursday will be the final meeting of the commission to give an approval or disapproval of your project. And that recommendation will go to the city planner who's handling the case, and he'll make report. This is a BZA case, yeah. All right, so.
Okay. And I did reach out to, I don't know if you remember the name of the district, it's like,
Woodland Park.
Woodland Park. And I've tried calling and emailing, I've sent 4, but there hasn't been a response, so.
I suggested you have that by the general body meeting in September, so you have plenty of time.
Okay.
And if
I'm unsuccessful after a while.
If you have do I have your contact
Yes, sir.
information? I go to their meetings, so if they haven't responded by the time they meet in August, I will
Mention
inform them that they need to talk to you.
And they
All
also
right.
have a new contact,
Okay.
Yes, they have a new.
secretary and president.
Yes, they do.
So it's a new, email.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Wait, do you want your folders back?
Oh, yeah, right.
Sure.
No.
It's just. Oh, yeah, just, thank you.
Okay, our next property is 533 North Wilson. Please introduce yourself.
I'm Jeff Brown with Smith and Hale. I was back here, I believe, early 2018 with this site when we got the initial approval of the property. As is typical with the BZA process, the city wanted a site plan to go with the application. Since 2018, the business has grown. He's been very successful. This is a recycling center. A lot of East Siders use this facility. They mostly what they call white goods, which are like refrigerators, stoves, washers and dryers, aluminum siding. What they do is they're a sorting facility, so material comes in, whether it's a corporate account or individuals bring what they have found in there, and so they separate it and then ship it out. They don't process anything in this facility. It's basically bring it in, separate it, send it to wherever you should send it. So the commission approved this in 18, and what we need to do is the city came out and took the old site plan and looked how he was operating and said, we need to update this. So we're back through that process, basically to just introduce a new site plan. There are 2 new variances, one of which is he put in a scale. If you go through my presentation, I think I've got some pictures that show the scale itself. It may be in the second attachment that I have the drawing.
Not this.
No.
Then let me pull it up. I apologize. Give me just a moment.
That's right. Anyway, there's a truck scale in there, and so they have a little scale house which does the calculations and everything when the truck drives over, and so that's within the 40-foot setback. So we're asking for a variance to that to 10 feet, and then as you can see in the picture over there, that green box is a recycling box. That allows people to drop off electronics when they're not open. And we're asking for a setback reduction to 3 feet for that. And you can see even with that, it's far back from the intersection and the sidewalk, so there's no conflict. And then the last one, we'd like to increase the pile height to 30 feet if the commission is comfortable. His business ebbs and flows. So they accumulate, separate, they pile the stuff up. When they reach a certain amount, they call a truck to come in, pick up the stuff and leave. And so it's not a constant, it goes up and down depending on the business level and when the truck is shown. So we'd like to have just a little more flexibility so that code enforcement people don't come out every other day with a ruler or something. So those are the 2 variances. The other list, the BZA people told me just to repeat, the original variances and then identify the new ones, and so that's what we've done. It looks like a long list, but all those things have been approved, by the commission in the BCA process.
Thank you for explaining that.
Yeah. I don't, you can't find that other attachment?
So the only other attachment I could find here was this document here, and
Yeah.
then, hold on, let me see if there's a third one.
Well, I'm sorry. This is what the scale, and the little green building in the background is a scale house, so I'm sorry. I thought I had attached those with this. If you could just pass this around.
The zoning violations list.
There should have been two attachments, the application.
Here, let me, so that, oh, sorry, I just had it filled up. So this is what we have, the original application, the updated site layout, and then zoning code violations.
Okay,
Okay, well,
yeah.
I originally gave those pictures and the colored pictures that you have. I'm not the tech person, so I may have screwed it up.
So, I'd like to open, are you completely?
Yes, I'm done.
Okay, so my only comment is on the variance for the 30 feet. I drive by this facility quite a bit and
Yes.
I find the pile of scrap unsightly. So unless the owner is willing to build a fence around this so that the public doesn't have to look at this, I'm not too happy about this particular variance you're asking for.
Is there a number that the commission would be happier with or more accepting or
Well,
open to?
if you want to be able to raise a pile of scrap to 30 feet tall, then you need something 30 feet tall to at least facing Nelson Avenue.
Yeah, I understand that. I mean, I think I understand what you're saying, because I see it comes over, but they do have that green meshing in the fencing, and they do have some
Well,
pine
it's
trees out
above
front.
the fence.
No, I agree.
Yeah.
But there is that, at least visually, when you go by, they have that element, and I understand what you're saying. I can talk to them, maybe there's a better number, I can come back with the full commission if we want to leave that open.
Any other planning comments? Yes.
I go to the pile as well, and it says that you wanna get it to 30 because you don't wanna schedule additional pickups.
Well, no, I don't think that's it, it's just the business in terms of when you get that and when you get the trucks. I mean, sometimes they do have issues getting the trucks to show up at the right time, so there is the ability to have it. I think he's just looking for some flexibility. Now, typically, the highest I've ever seen the city allowing is 30 feet, and so that's why we put that number in. I mean, I understand what Mr. Rice is talking about in terms of that, because you look at it right now, it's not full.
Right.
And so I understand that.
And I think if you were gonna build fencing or, something that would keep you from having to see, 30 feet is a 3-foot building?
Yeah.
Is it? Okay, so that's
Well, your
kinda how-
residential, it all depends on what height. But
Okay.
The typical residential zoning district is 35 feet.
Okay, so I think that if you were gonna build something that tall, then that would be another issue, wouldn't it? You couldn't just build something that big, so maybe they could figure out another.
Yeah, the city, I think the city would have to, come in on that one.
Yeah, maybe a lower
Yeah, no.
pile height.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we can, and if we could just hold that, maybe we can talk to see if I can come up with a better number.
I personally don't care about the height. I obviously don't want it to be 100 feet high, you know, and that's ridiculous, but what I would be interested in, non-personally, but from my chair here, is what the residents of the multifamily complex across the street think. And if they have an issue with that, because they're the ones that have to look out the
Right,
windows and see it.
we were actually there before those apartments were built.
Oh, no, no offense, I don't think that really matters. I think
Right.
what we're talking about here, the 30 feet in particular, I would be interested in what that community thinks, because they're the ones that have to look at it. And if they don't care, I personally don't care, right? But because they're the ones that have to deal with it on a daily basis. But that's just my personal opinion.
Right.
I'm not the end all be all either.
Any other comments? from
Yeah,
planning
but I
commission?
just wanted to piggyback on that. That is true and respectfully so. However, I'm not looking at it every day. I drive by there a lot. And I'm looking at the entire neighborhood, the entire community. And I think it impacts all of us, you know. And
I respect that. I
Yes,
totally get it.
yes, yes,
I
because I
totally
love
get
your
it.
house. And I haven't even been to your house.
Well, I love your house too.
Well, maybe
I
people,
know.
maybe people haven't commented in the neighborhood or in that right there,
Right.
maybe they haven't had an opinion because they've never been asked.
Yeah,
And maybe they don't know that they can weigh in.
Well, I live at the Yardley. I've sat and seen an empty lot in front of my house, in front of my apartment complex for 5 years. It was the first resident that
Yes.
ever lived there, and it's unsightly. And this is not the same thing, but I would just really be interested to hear what those residents say, because I think
We can reach out.
oftentimes we don't ask the renters in the
That
community
is
what they
correct.
think.
No, we'll reach out to the management company and see what we can do. But this is kind of unique. This is the manufacturing strip.
Yes.
I mean, you know, it used to be, this used to be the Sears Service Center.
Yeah.
And then the big Sears operation was where
Yeah.
the big Amazon.
I tend to be
Yeah.
partial to what you're saying. I tend to agree. I don't think 30 feet is unreasonable. I don't think your positions are reasonable either. I just,
Yes.
again, I just wanna raise up the voices of the
You would like a
community
little more
members.
information
You know what I
before you
mean?
make a decision. I
That's
understand
very
that.
valid. That's very
Okay.
valid.
Judy Denver Davis.
So, spent a lot of time on the file. To me, like, if I lived in those apartments,
Right.
no. It just, that would be terrible, and I've had to live in a home, or live in a home where all I saw was junk next to me and spilling out into the yard, and it
Yes.
was constant, and it was terrible. And that was a terrible thing to think that my children had to live next to that situation. So that is just my comment on that. I just wanted some clarification on in your statement of support of the variance, the continuation of customers to drop off items after closing hours. Are you requesting a variance for that? Or
Is that box,
That box, recycling box, Alpha.
that is just for that?
That
box?
is just for that. It's at a 3-foot setback, but if you saw the pictures, you saw how far it was set back behind the sidewalk.
Right.
So I don't think it really interferes with any pedestrian traffic or people entering or exiting the business there.
Well, it is specific to drop off items after closing hours, so that's why I was curious what those items are.
It's for computer drop off, electronics drop off.
So I've actually used this facility to recycle.
Yeah, I mean, there are a lot of business comes from the east side.
Yeah, they also do take like non-commercial amounts. If you collect cans or things of that nature, you can actually take it to them to recycle or electronics. That box is, open 24/7, but the gate does close after hours. So
Gotcha.
I think we were thinking the same thing, like with trucks be coming in after hours that weren't already coming in,
No.
potentially disrupting the people who live in the neighborhood.
Yeah,
So-
or just like random, just people coming in
Yeah.
to drop off, like. something.
No, I mean, that stuff,
They're only open.
believe it or not, that stuff's very valuable, so when nobody's there, the gate's closed. Because it might walk away.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Lots of copper in there.
Any other planning comments?
Lots of copper.
Commissioner Lewis.
Well, just to echo what Commissioner Wright said, the height of the pile seems to be really the primary issue. Like all of us use, it seems, Nelson Road's a pretty big connector, and we're up and down that all the time, and when that pile gets substantially above the fence, it's really pretty bad looking. And it's like, I wish it could be located elsewhere on the site and not right up by the fence there, because it was set further back, the angle of view from the street wouldn't be quite so severe to see the thing, but I assume that's been thought of and there's no other.
Well, yeah, the
place
problem is, if you go back to the site plan, you see where the building is, there isn't a place to put the stuff. The building's in the back, and
I understand, it's like so we want this business to succeed, and yet their success in growing the business leads to more stuff, and it's not a very big site, and the area has changed a little bit, there's this apartment building across the street now, and it's like, that's just the, you know, so we don't wanna kick them out exactly, but I think that fence, the screening should, it all should be higher if you're gonna go above 10, 12 feet with stuff being piled there. I think the plan would be received better if it came with higher screening.
I don't know what the height is.
You know, more in accord with the height of the pile that you're looking for approval for. I didn't say that terribly well, but I think you know what I'm saying. So it's a little hard to swallow, kind of, when that pile gets up there, it really is. And I would also mention, you know, there's a daycare center right across the street too. It isn't, the apartment building isn't the only thing.
Yeah, the apartment building is actually at the south end. I mean, I'm not, it's just, I'm just pointing out, it's not right across the street from the pond. It's at the south end of the site.
That's right across. the
Yeah, and
street.
I think actually some of our employees have used that daycare in the past.
So it's just like, there's gotta be some limit to this, and, you know, the owner's trying to do the right thing, to comply, they wanna succeed, we just have to find some compromise here that's a little more palatable, I feel.
Let me see what we
I'm
can
being
find as
nice.
an option or.
I'm being kinda nice, I'm trying to be nice. I'm not always nice, but.
All right, good cop, here comes bad cop. Yes, we want business owners to succeed, but we want business owners to take care of their business. The reason you're here is because of 7 code violations. It's not because you're proactively coming to us and saying, hey, we would like to do something different. It's because you got caught by the city doing things that you weren't supposed to do, some of which are actually dangerous to the neighbors. I mean, having combustible materials stored within 10 feet of the fence, that's a dangerous thing. You're having tires stored on the site when you weren't supposed to. The 10 feet of the pile, that's a business decision that this owner is making on when the pickups are gonna be coming. You can make it, I can tell you, I know for a fact that the higher value metals leave that site more frequently than the things that are going into this pile. That is a business decision that has been made. That is the reason why you're here. You know, damages to the front fence gate. We talked about the scale already. Parking and storing of vehicles where there are no tags on them, expired stickers, missing wheels, and also failure to obtain zoning clearance to change use of property to allow parking and storing of inoperable vehicles.
Yeah, I understand.
You need to be a good you need to be a good neighbor to the community members of Shepherd, and you are not being a good neighbor to the community members of Shepherd. So, no, I don't wanna let you have a pile higher than 10 feet, because you're not even taking care of the things that you're supposed to be taking
Well,
care of right
they've
now.
addressed those other items, and that was a mistake, you know, unfortunately, we've all been in this situation, you can't control when you get the phone call, and, you know, I've explained to him what's going on, what he needs to do.
Those are my thoughts, thank you.
Yeah, I will ditto what she said. In addition, you know, the fence is extremely unsightly. There's weeds growing through it. The mesh is not matching and torn. The evergreen trees are, you know, not so healthy. The grass is brown. I think there's a lot you can do to I don't, should I say, dress up the street facing piece of this property to make it somewhat a little bit more palatable. I don't know what we're gonna be looking for to the neighborhood. I know that's not what we're voting on, but.
Wow.
We would ask the same thing of a residential person. I mean, we ask them for semi-permeable pavers on their project. So why wouldn't we hold a business owner accountable when we're asking homeowners to do things that go above and beyond?
Yep, I understand.
Any other comments?
No, I think we.
Okay, any community comments? Okay, I will reiterate what Commissioner Lococo said, I find the fence and the meshing as unappealing as the overflowing pile of stuff. It is a very poorly maintained site on a major thoroughfare in our community. And I think it is, as Commissioner Caves stated, you're not being a good neighbor. So at this point, hearing no other, I would like a motion to table this project until September, at which time I hope you can come back with a more definitive plan on how you're planning to address the issues we raised. Do I hear a motion?
Second.
Yeah, I'll move.
Okay, so we'll move Benson, the second.
You know what, I can second you this time if you want.
I'll move the motion to table the project until our next meeting.
Thank you.
Can I just ask one question?
Yes.
Did anybody have any problems with the scale or the scale house behind
No.
the fence?
No.
Okay.
Before you vote on that motion to table.
Yeah.
It sounds like probably people are likely to support that, but that just delays the resolution of things a month. I just want to make sure you want to
Yeah,
do that.
I do.
Yeah, I'd like to, I don't mean to speak for you, Commissioner Rice. I would really like to hear community feedback in particular and see if there's a modification, in approach.
Well, that, I can move on that. It's been moved and seconded to table the project. All those in favor, raise your hand. 700. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Okay, we have one additional item on the agenda. We have a conceptual review. Would you please step forward?
Commissioner Rice.
Okay. Would you please introduce yourself, and do you have anything to distribute to the commission?
I apologize, I don't, because I
A
was
little
told.
louder.
So my name is Anissa Ahmad, and I was here last year, I think you.
Yeah.
So last year I was requesting additional dwelling in my backyard for my sister and husband. My sister's 10 years older, and she had some health issues, and her husband wanted us just to be closer. So, and I'm sorry, didn't bring additional. I thought you had the equipment to just screen.
Okay, but we don't.
But you don't.
I never received the email from you with that information.
Okay. But I don't mind walking, I'm not making quick sense.
What's the address of the property?
1454 Franklin Avenue. So last year, this was the site plan for 1454. And this, I went through the variance process, the carriage house was approved. And then shortly after, I couldn't afford my brother was my bike ride. He done. I'm crying. Oh, yeah, Susan did that. Well, anyway, he was paralyzed. I was all there. He survived.
You know, I'm gonna state that it's gonna be very hard for us to do a conceptual review without the documentation.
Yeah, what?
I would like for you to come back in September with the appropriate documentation so we can actually do a reasonable review of what you're trying to build.
So my question is, I've asked to have a different design rather than this one, and I did approach the city, and they said just to bring it here, but I understand now that ADUs are acceptable. I think back last year, there was only a carriage house that could be built in the backyard in Old Towns. No, yes. I mean, there was carriage houses. We would have preferred something, on the level.
I'm not sure I understand what distinction you're making.
Carriage house would have a garage with a unit above it.
So,
She just wants to build a ADU.
Oh, no garage.
well, it can have a garage, but the reason there's a change, because now my sister lives with me, her kids remodeled my downstairs to make it a little bit more handicap accessible. But the reason I'm asking for a different design is my second daughter had a baby this year, and she's moved back to Ohio. Things didn't work out with the father, so we want an ADU for her
in the same location. It's where she can stay with the baby, so she has support from the family. So that's what I'm looking at. So I don't know what is permissible now that 80 units are allowed.
Well, when you say they're allowed, I mean, the code am I missing something? The code hasn't changed. This commission has been supportive of almost every ADU. Now, people use that word a little loosely, it's sort of like the word affordable. But we've supported almost all ADUs that I can think of in the 5 years I've been on the commission. Maybe there's an exception. Sometimes people build, like tonight, you know, are building 2 whole houses on a lot, which isn't quite the same thing. But if you're wanting to build a smaller dwelling unit on the back of your lot, I mean, and as long as there is off-street parking, because that's the one reason, obviously, that a lot of people are building a unit above a garage is so you can have off-street parking. So if you're putting a dwelling unit on the very back of the lot, there's a question about, is there a place to have any off-street parking? But if you could solve that problem.
If you add additional livable square footage, there's going to be a parking requirement that comes along with that, which will then trigger another variance. So.
Yeah, I had several variances with this last year, just because it's a mother and a young child.
Are you working with an architect?
I do have some. Well, the other question I wanted to know was, I was watching, we live about 2 blocks from the station, which is across from the East Market, and they were bringing those blocks. I was wondering if that is allowed, because a lot of people are putting those in their backyard as additional dwelling units.
Yes, yeah.
I mean, is that allowed?
Those were modular units that were built off-site and then assembled
Yes, is that
outside.
allowed? Because I would prefer to go that route.
I don't see how it makes it different.
Yeah, we don't regulate the construction of the building. We're just talking about variances, sight lines, side yard setbacks, parking requirements, those types of things. Are you working with an architect?
I have somebody I'm talking to. I mean, they are in California.
They should be able to answer a lot of questions related to the zoning code for you, or there are resources at the city also that will be able to answer questions for you regarding the zoning code. The zoning code also exists online, so you can read it. I mean, we can sit here and answer questions for you all night long. But our purpose is to approve variances for whatever plan that you do bring to us. So it's difficult for us to, question something if we don't have something to look at and question.
Yeah, and that's why we had the conceptual.
So what I'm gonna suggest to you, you need to decide what you wanna put back there and submit it to the city, and then they can tell you what is accessible, what is correct or not correct. They can tell you what variances you need, and then you can come forward to us with your project. But without you deciding on what you wanna put there, it makes us irrelevant to address the situation.
That's all.
If you wanna talk to either myself or Commissioner Lowenstein about this project, just email us and we'll be happy to sit down and talk with you. But the fact of the matter is, the commission, these committees can't really do anything for you at this point. But we are available to talk to you through whatever you need to ask.
If I may ask, have you had a chance to look at the document we have on the website that goes through the review process? Because that may help guide, because it seems as though maybe you're unsure of exactly like what you need to get this done. You want to get this done, right? And we are somewhere in that process, and maybe you're looking for where you need, like when you are supposed to come to us, if that's kind of what I'm understanding.
Yes.
Okay.
So I talked to Eastman, I think Johnson at the city,
Yeah.
and I said I'd gone through this process because I worked with him for this process last year. And I said I needed to just change the design. And he said I needed to approach you guys to have it approved
You will, you
Right,
will.
but we
Then-
need a design to look at.
Yeah.
We need a design to look at.
And the reason I'm here today and didn't bring any designs, because I wanted to know if those modulars, is that permissible?
Yeah, sure
It
it
is.
is.
Absolutely.
Where you lay the concrete slab and do the plumbing.
Yeah.
And you have a truck, just bring it, set it up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I can pull those up and maybe show them to you.
You can show them to the city, if that's what you wanna do.
Yeah.
They're
Then
asking me
there's
to
no
come
reason
to-
to bring it to us, because the city, you have to say yes or no before we can even look at it.
Yeah, and then they determine what, I'm sorry to interrupt, they'll determine if there are variances.
Yeah.
And that's what we.
And if there are, then you'll have to submit an application for,
That's correct.
with the, for the zoning adjustment application, I believe, or it's a county, I'm not sure what you've got. But they'll advise you on that, and then, once that's submitted, then you would come here to try, like other applicants have tonight, to hopefully get a recommendation in favor of it.
But we do not decide what you get to build on your property, if that makes sense. Like, you decide what you would like to do, and then you would submit it to like us in the city, and then they would, whatever requirements they have. But I think, like, if that makes sense, because it feels as though you are asking us what you are allowed to do, but that's not necessarily why we're here.
That's a better question for
The city.
Mr. Johnson that you were already talking to. He can tell you what is allowed without variances and what variances would be required once you determine what it is you want to build.
Yeah, I think the reason he said that was he thought that different neighborhoods
Yeah.
have different restrictions.
Right, and we will make a recommendation
Yes.
ultimately on it. It's just, what Commissioner Rice said is we really have little to talk about without a design.
Yeah, and really, since you've decided what you would like to do,
Yeah.
go ahead and start the process with the city.
Yes.
And if you need to talk to either Commissioner Lowenstein, because Commissioner Lowenstein is much more, well, he has much more experience in these issues than I do, but talk to one of us and we'll walk you through what we can. Okay? All right.
So we can do that in September.
Well, no, you can do this, start now.
No, but bring it, because you're
Well,
close.
the city has to send us the application before we can review it.
So if you were to submit something that required no variances, and that you wouldn't even have to come back here at all. So the city only requires you to come here if you require variances. If you would like to, I mean, we'd love to see whatever plans you have and give you a letter of support. But if you were to submit something to the city that did not require you to come through this process, you would not have to come through this process.
Right.
Yeah.
Commissioner
If that's
Benson is-
helpful, I'm sorry, I'm trying to make sure I'm, yeah.
All right, thank you so much. All right, if there's no other business, I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
Benson second.
All right, we are adjourned.